What is the Sandbox? The Ethereum NFT Metaverse game. The Sandbox is an Ethereum NFT game that uses the Metaverse blockchain to create a digital world for players to explore and interact with their friends. It's completely user-generated content. No developers are involved in creating this virtual place or guiding players' experiences from behind the scenes. Everything is owned by the players, and all of the items in the game are non-fungible tokens that can be bought, sold, and traded on the marketplace. Players will be able to customize their characters with different clothes and accessories or duds to give their avatar a unique look. The Sandbox 2018 is a distributed non-fungible token (NFT) gaming metaverse that is built on top of the Ethereum network. Users without a strong background in technology can design, sell, utilize, and ultimately monetize their virtual reality NFTs thanks to the Sandbox. The founders of Pixowl, the Sandbox 2011, and the Sandbox Evolution 2016 each saw a great deal of success with their products. In 2018, the developers of the successful user-generated content game IP mulled over the possibility of integrating it with the large producers network that exists within the blockchain ecosystem. The intention was to award the creators with non-fungible tokens, NFTs, as a kind of remuneration for their participation in the ecosystem as well as to give them true ownership of the items they made. The Sandbox was created from a desire to create a better game. The existing game industry brings great life experiences and rewards, but it also has many problems that are not evident until you get into it yourself. The founders explain that they wanted to create a sandbox in which they could change the way we interact with games by creating them using blockchain technology and non-fungible tokens, NFTs. They believe the world of NFTs is still in its infancy, so there's plenty of room for experimentation with this new concept. What is the Sandbox Metaverse? The Sandbox decentralized gaming ecosystem utilizes Ethereum smart contracts to enable users to create their virtual reality as well as create, own, and trade virtual items. The Sandbox will launch with a blockchain interface and a metaverse browser, which will be the first step toward creating a non-fungible token, NFT, ecosystem. Users will have the freedom to build out the entire 3D world by themselves or in groups. The cryptocurrency powering the system is Ether, which is needed to work in the Sandbox. The currency will also be needed if a user wants to buy and sell NFTs. What is the Metaverse? The Metaverse is an encrypted and decentralized, public ledger that holds personal information. The Metaverse is a virtual world that operates on blockchain technology, where the user's data can be stored, transferred, and enforced. What problems does the Sandbox solve? The Sandbox is a virtual non-fungible token, NFT, game platform for players to create their own unique virtual reality spaces, which use blockchain technology to store user-generated content as well as digital assets such as currency and property. The Sandbox uses blockchain technology to create a virtual environment that is free from the control of developers and owners, thereby giving users full ownership over their characters, items, and creations. The platform has several products already available such as the Sandbox Evolution, 2016, the Sandbox 2D, 2017, and the Sandbox, 2018. This game is the predecessor to the Sandbox game and it used the same system of distributed non-fungible tokens, NFTs, to create unique items that you could collect and trade with your friends. The game was highly successful in its own right, receiving several awards and accolades during its debut year. Types of tokens in the Sandbox Metaverse. Sand token. Sand tokens are the gateway to the Sandbox Metaverse, which is created and maintained by the Sandbox, 2018. Sand is a security token that allows players to enter the Sandbox to create and own virtual items. To use Sand tokens, you need ETH. Assets token. The Assets token is a representation of the virtual assets that can be found in the Sandbox Metaverse. Users have the option of trading these tokens in the market or employing them on land to generate more utility of their choosing. Users can produce a wide variety of assets that can be monetized on the site through the usage of VoxEdit. In addition, each player retains full ownership rights over any assets they develop in the game and then exchange with other players. Game token. Gameplay in the sandbox is driven by the use of game tokens, which are used to access assets and create new content in-game. Players can earn game tokens throughout the sandbox experience, or they can simply purchase them from other players on the marketplace. Land token. Land in the sandbox can be purchased with game tokens and then used to build structures on the planet. Once created, players will have the ability to sell or exchange their land for other users and receive a cut of the sale. Players can also deduct rent from their land to generate additional income. In the Sandbox Metaverse, a land token serves as an essential component. Within the context of the sandbox ecosystem, the land token is often referred to as a virtual real estate investment. Within the metaverse, users can purchase land and then construct estates and districts by combining various pieces of land that are next to one another. Gems token. The Gems token is an asset-backed token developed on the Ethereum blockchain. It can be employed to allow players to access the property, as well as build and trade items in the sandbox without any fees. Gems tokens will first be released via ICO, and after that, they are made available for purchase in the Sandbox store. Within the ecosystem of the sandbox, gems are utility tokens that increase the value of the attributes attached to assets. It is also a burnt-on usage token, which means that one GEM can offer 25 attribute points to an asset. This can prove to be rather useful and important throughout the game. Catalyst token. The Catalyst token is a cryptocurrency that will be used by the Sandbox game network. To operate on the blockchain, Catalyst must first be converted into the sand and game tokens. On top of that, Catalyst serves as a means of exchange for premium features within the sandbox. It is important to note that all assets in the sandbox are created using sand, game, and Catalyst tokens. Catalyst is another unburned token that sets the tier and scarcity displayed for the user's asset in the Sandbox Metaverse. The user can add an empty socket to their asset, which they will then be able to fill with GEM properties with the assistance of the Catalyst token. What is sand used for? The sandbox uses the sand token to generate a massive amount of utility. The sand token is the only way to pay real-world fees within the game, and it allows users to participate in the sandbox without any costs. The sand token gives users the ability to create new content, build property on land, and own any assets that they create with their character within the metaverse. For accessing the platform, users can purchase sand tokens to access the sandbox platform. They provide the users with the ability to create their personalized virtual world within the sandbox by using their personalized tokens. The users can earn money by selling the items and property that they have created for other members of their community, which can be redeemed for sand with an exchange rate. Governance. The sandbox provides the players with the choice of operating within a free market environment or implementing collectivist methods, which are determined by the users themselves. Sand is often used to pay for items in the marketplace or even in exchange for a land plot. It allows users to incorporate several elements into their land, including districts and estates. For accessing assets, users can also use sand tokens to purchase assets from other players on the site. The sand tokens are used to access real-world assets that are made available on the platform, as well as construct structures and areas within the sandbox. Before purchasing an asset, the token must first be exchanged for game tokens on the marketplace. Within the marketplace, a user has access to both assets and land that they can use to create content on their metaverse. Foundation. The sandbox is currently in the alpha stage of development. The platform is still under continuous improvement and is an active community. The sandbox is priced at $2,000 per month, 12 months, and has a maximum capacity of 512 players at any given time during beta testing. Clients who have purchased a tier will be able to access the rest of the game once it is released on August 27, 2018. Free capture model. In the sandbox, all assets are created using sand tokens. These assets can then be sold for game tokens, as well as used to gain access to the sandbox platform. Players can also access the marketplace of the sandbox to purchase land and assets for real-world currency through sand, or it can be generated through mining. Mining. The sandbox will allow users the option of creating new mines on the planet and then selling them for sand tokens. Users will also be able to sell the items that are extracted from the mines for game tokens. Players can also mine for minerals to collect and sell them for sand tokens. Microtransactions. The sandbox is an open-world platform by default. The objects in the game are free of charge, but players are given the option of buying premium packages in exchange for sand tokens, which they can obtain by selling the items that they have created or extracted from mines. Staking. Within the sandbox, users can stake sand tokens to gain new character attributes. These attributes will then be attached to the user's asset in the metaverse. Vouchers. The sandbox provides users with vouchers in exchange for sand tokens. These tokens can be used by other players and redeemed at a later date within the sandbox. What can we expect from the sandbox in the future? The sandbox is an open-world game. It is currently in the alpha stage of development. At the moment, the sandbox is working together with more than 165 different companies, some of which are extremely well known, such as the Smurfs, Atari, and the Walking Dead franchises. In addition to this, the sandbox has worked together with both Snoop Dogg and deadmau5 to produce virtual performances of their music. The sandbox has also formed a partnership with the organization known as the World of Women, WOW, intending to assist WOW in its efforts to increase female inclusivity and participation in the metaverse. As part of this plan, the WOW Foundation will be given $25 million a year for the next 5 years. The money from this fund will be used to support educational opportunities and mentorship programs. In addition, Sandbox has successfully funded more than $90 million as of this point. The company's staff is now working on growing both the metaverse and the product suite. This year, the Sandbox team will be presenting new metaverse features to the landowners who have developed exceptional gameplay experiences. In addition to this, it is anticipated that the mobile version as well as a new community token would be released during the fourth quarter of 2022. In addition, according to the forecasts of industry analysts, the price of the sandbox might go up to more than $7 by the beginning of the first quarter of 2023, and it has the potential to go up to more than $200 in the next 5 years. As a result, since the industry as a whole is still in the process of developing, financial analysts feel that the sandbox has enormous growth opportunities in the future. Before investing in metaverse, potential investors should perform their study, talk to or listen to industry professionals, or both, because the state of the industry is subject to change depending on the circumstances. Conclusion. Metaverse, otherwise known as the Sandbox, is a revolutionary sandbox game that allows users to create their objects and share them with other players in the community. In addition, the Sandbox has recently partnered with the World of Women organization to increase female participation within the metaverse. The platform raised nearly $100 million during its ICO pre-sale earlier this year.